Well, good morning folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for your visiting here and for being a subscriber. If you're new, hit that like and subscribe button. I do lots of review videos, mainly now in Flight Sim 2020, but one or two in Prepare 3D, and mainly scenery products, although I will be looking at the new 737 when it comes out. But today we're back on the island of Corsica in the Mediterranean, and you're looking at Ajaccio, Napoleon Bonaparte Airport. Lima Foxtrot Kilo Juliet. This is a payware scenery version by Pilot Sim Experience Sim. And just to be clear, we're looking at Sim Update 9, version 1.25.7.0 of Flight Simulator 2020. And I can confirm, having played around with the scenery and had a look this morning, that the scenery is compatible, all works. I haven't had any shutdowns so far. So this scenery, the download is 724 megs and it installs at 1.99 gigs, just under 2 gigs. Now it's available from two locations, both SimMarket and the FlightSim.to website. Prices at FlightSim.to seem to be a little bit lower. I'll just go through those for you. FlightSim.to, if you purchase there, it's around €17.18, which equates to $18.37 US, or £14.45 UK. If you purchase at SimMarket, slightly higher, €18, or $19.25 US, or £15.13 UK. These prices include VAT or tax, which of course may vary depending on which country you make your purchase from. But as you can see, FlightSim.to is a little bit cheaper. I'll say right off the bat, this is a beautiful scenery. It's another airport in a stunning location with a challenging approach, especially into runway 20 here. We'll go through that in a minute. But it's a stunning little scenery. The attention to detail is fantastic. There are one or two little things that probably are missing that would, if they were added, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It's that good. But we will go through that in a bit, and I'll take you on a tour around this airport. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. So as usual, a little bit of history for you. Ajaccio Napoleon Bonaparte Airport, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Juliet, formerly known and often still referred to as Campo del Oro Airport, is the main airport serving Ajaccio on the French island of Corsica in the Mediterranean Sea. The actual airport itself is located 3 miles or 5 kilometers east of the main town of Ajaccio, across the bay from the town itself. So if you were to go across the bay here, you find the town on the other side. The airport is the main base for the regional airline Air Corsica, which operates services within continental France, and the airport's named after Napoleon Bonaparte, who was born here in Ajaccio. So what is now Ajaccio Airport before aviation was an alluvial plain at the mouth of the Bay of Gravona. This is the Bay of Gravona here. The meaning field of gold, the actual meaning remains obscure. The most common meaning refers to the malaria-infested marshland or swamp that used to be this plain. A grass airfield existed there before World War II, but no transportation services were offered. First regular flights to Marseille began with the institution of a seaplane service in 1935 from Ajaccio Harbour, which was down here. In 1940, Vichy Air Corps unit was based there, but was actually inactive. And the liberation of Corsica began with the landing by sea in 1943 of the 1 Corps in Ajaccio in Operation Vesuve. A few months later, fighter group GC-2-7 of the Free French Air Force, a French unit of the Royal Air Force, were operational on the grass field at Campo del Oro with Spitfires. Heavy aircraft were pretty much unable to land, and those that tried mostly came to grief in the soft surface. In 1944, the United States Army Air Forces took over the airport and put down a hard surface of perforated metallic mats from which a squadron of B-51s were able to operate. They defended the B-24s flying from the new airfields that were constructed on the east coast of Corsica. Ajaccio Airport, or Campo del Oro, was a challenge for the larger aircraft because of the relatively short runway and proximity to the mountains. You can see them here. Towards the end of the war, the runways were paved, forming the foundation of the modern airport. Today, Ajaccio Campo del Oro Airport serves over 10 airlines, including Air Corsica, Air France, EasyJet and TUI Belgium. In 2018, the airport handled over 1.6 million passengers. So here we are looking at the runways. I've just turned the lights down a bit so you can see the runways and look at the general lay of the land here. So we're looking down the throat of runway 02. The airport operates a single runway 0220, which is 7,897 feet or 2,407 meters long, and is made from concrete. Both ends of the runway feature runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators, a single bar located on the runway left side, which you can see here, and these are the end identifier lights. There are no high intensity approach lighting systems here available at the airport at either end of the runway. Runway 02, which we're looking at now, features a standard instrument landing system and also features flashing buoys located in the water in front of the runway. And as you can see here, they are actually present in the scenery as per the charts. Runway 20 is equipped with an RNP approach option. We'll have a look in a second, and also features 2 visual maneuvering with prescribed tracks or VPT options, with the mountainous terrain making landings in this direction quite a challenge. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 20. So as I said, runway 20 was equipped with an RMP approach option and also 2 visual maneuvering with prescribed tracks options or VPTs. And of course the mountainous terrain behind us and the rising land make this landing quite a challenge. There's also, as you can see, a slight displace threshold, and again you've got the runway end identifier lights and the precision approach path indicator on the left side. So as you can see, even in the low sunlight here, before we even look at it, this place looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So here we are then, around about midday, and that was a bit of history for you. This place has been around quite a while, and you can see that this used to be obviously an alluvial floodplain by the amount of vegetation and how green and stunning it looks here. And they've obviously done a lot of work to make this airport. Beautiful beachfront, and you've got the town of Ajaccio across the bay. We might get a chance to have a brief look, but the whole area is a real stunning location. And I'll tell you now, before we go down and have a look, this is a stunning little airport. There's probably maybe one thing that comes to mind that's missing that makes it a 9 instead of a 10, but we'll come to that. So let's go down and have a close look at this airport in detail. Okay, here we are on the main international commercial ramp. Airport split into various areas. You've got the commercial apron, which is where we are now, with parking space for several small airliners. There's a helicopter base, additional stands. There's apron K, which is over here, for private GA aircraft, and on the other side of the runway there's an Air Corsica base with a hangar, beautifully detailed, which we'll have a look. But as you can see, the ground markings are stunning. Here the whole airport and the runway is made of concrete, and here you can see concrete just as it should look. Ground markings are beautifully crisp and clear, with the stands, plenty of clutter, lots of bits and pieces here, making this look like a real airport. I can tell you now, the building has internal development, not hugely so, but it's really quite nice. And the outside foliage, signage, which we'll look at in a minute, is stunning. Here you've got the fire station. The models are beautiful. The control tower is built inside. There is some internal development. It just looks stunning. And here we are looking down taxiway Alpha, which goes out to runway 02. And you've got the car parking at landside of the airport. Again, beautiful foliage and shrubbery, lots of detail here as well. So let's start with a quick tour airside across this airport here. This looks stunning. Look at the detail. The ramp clutter is lovely. The buildings are weathered. Okay, they're not all internally developed, but boy do they look good. The roads, airside roads, are stunning. We get down a little lower. Here you can see the signage. There, for example, beautifully detailed, even close up. So continuing our tour, as you can see, it's just stunning. It looks the part. Animated flag, beautifully weathered building there. Even signs on the building, stairwell at the side. The weathering looks wonderful. I mean, just look at this. The weathering is just fantastic on these buildings. Here you've got evidence of rust. It's just beautiful, beautifully done. While we're here, is the main control tower from the outside. And as you can see, inside it's been nicely developed. Now I'll state my case here right now. The only thing that's making this a 9 and not a 10 is the lack of people. To add some animated people would just really touch this whole airport off, and there are many examples of this. We'll come to that as we go along. Here's a view looking out across the ramp. Just looks really good. Absolutely wonderful. Now this, I believe, was the old control tower next door, which I believe is used as a standby. And there we are looking in the other direction. So let's continue the tour and having a look at airside. There you can see the fire station. Again, wonderful attention to detail. These models look stunning. No gaps on the wheels. Lettering is absolutely clear. Look, you can even read the number plate here. It's stunning. The signage is, and the weathering on the building again, just stunning. And here we are inside the fire station. As you can see, there's a bit of basic sort of development with the doors and the lighting. Perfectly acceptable. Looks wonderful. But as you can see, the detail here is just really nice. Look at the weathering on this old building here. Fence lines. The fence lines are really good. It's just everything's really crisp and nicely developed. Again, just looking out on the ramp here with the clutter. 1 or 2 people, cones, the weathering on the ramp and the apron as well, just really looks good. And before we leave this area, let's go landside to look at the landside part of the main commercial terminal, which is what most of you I think will be doing when you fly in here. So we're tracking landside now, and you can see the barriers, the detail here. Doesn't it look wonderful? There's the approach. If I come down a little bit. Okay, you've got flags, signage. There's the arrivals entry door. Signs on the car park. There's Hertz and Abers, the car rental companies. And the car models all sit nicely in the car park. And once again, the car park, okay, it's slightly lower resolution, but they've enhanced it so that it looks better, it looks sharper. They haven't left it to just as a photo scenery ground thing. Entry barriers, again you've got the French national flag colours here. And here you've got your car rental companies. Nice touch there to have a car on top of one of the buildings. And they're looking landside. You see the animated flags, and you can see what I mean about here, how they've enhanced the car park and all the models sit nicely in their places. Nothing really out of place, and they all look really sharp and nice. And everything right down to the disabled parking here too as well. Departures entrance, baggage trolley there even. And again, more signage. Here's the crosswalk, and even the crosswalk sign is there, nice and clear, and in the road as well. Just beautiful. So let's step inside the terminal. Okay, so we're now inside the terminal in the departure side. You can see they've got one guy walking and another guy at a check-in desk there with nobody else. This looks great. It's perfectly acceptable. Looks really, really nice. Okay, it's not as enhanced as some developers have done, but it's perfectly acceptable. You've got the baggage trolleys here. All the signs are crisp and clear. If we go up close, you'll see. So there you can see the sign there's really crisp and completely readable. And there at the upper right you've got the departures board, again completely readable. Here's the EasyJet air check-in area, baggage trolley, and you've got this illusion of shops here on the left, all nicely done. The floor's really good. Again, my only bugbear, I think really my only nitpick for this scenery that makes it a 9 instead of a 10 is the lack of people. Yeah, you've got this guy and this guy. Be nice to see somebody behind the check-in desk and maybe one or two little people ambling around. I know this isn't a huge busy international airport, but a few more people would make it more, just make it more believable. I don't know if that's the right word. And a few maybe wandering out landside. But there you go again, you can see the baggage drops and you've got the signage there, absolutely crystal clear. View looking in the other direction. Here you can see the airport is going to the boarding gates. So if we follow this through to the boarding area to airside, let's have a look. So here you are in the airside lounge area, and as you can see, looks really nice. It's separated into two sides. You've got this area here. That's interesting. That's really, really very, very nicely done. Here's a sign inside the airport showcasing the developers' other, or one of their other airports that they've done for flights in 2020, Montpellier. So hats off to them for doing that. It's a really, really nice way of publicising your other work. Just looking outside there, another direction, another sign there, beautifully done, very crisp. And here we are looking out through the windows at my aircraft and what's going on outside. The only thing that's missing from here is the security check between landside and airside. Duty-free shop there, and of course another sign showcasing their other airport. So this is the exit corridor going out to where the taxis are. A couple of signs there. It's looking towards landside. There's the approach from airside, and you've got this little cafe seating area there, which is nice. So this is the other side. This is the arrivals area where you've got the baggage carousels. Again, not hugely developed. You could say it looks a little bland, but really I'm not complaining because the rest of the airport looks fantastic and they've done such a nice job outside. And there's the doorway coming in from airside that comes into the baggage carousel, and the bags will be dropped onto the thing here. I mean, this is perfectly acceptable. Not everybody wants to fully develop the inside, but they've done enough to make this believable, in my opinion. So as you can see, the outside of the terminal, this is airside, just looks really lovely. The glass, you can see out through the glass, gives a nice effect from inside and looks very nice from outside. The whole place looks great. So there you can see the airport sign and these beautiful palm trees. Don't they look great? So there's an overview, just looking at the terminal from airside towards landside. Here you can see the roads are nicely developed right round the terminal, parking spaces. Here you've got some construction debris and work. Just the whole thing looks great. I'm really impressed with it. So let's go and tour over here and have a look a little bit further around landside. So we're touring across the top of the building. A couple of buses there. More car parks, little barriers, entrances there to the right. Oh, Okay, so that sort of flashed on a little bit quickly, but as you can see, it's lovely. It's nicely detailed. You're going to get some popping scenery popping now and again. I get it from time to time. Doesn't really spoil my enjoyment of what looks to be a really nice little project. Again, looking out across the car park, you see the cars are nice models and they're pretty much properly parked. So airport signage there going into the terminal, into the airport. Again, nice and crisp and clear, beautifully done in French. So let's have a little look across this side. We're now going towards the GA facilities and the helicopter base. Again, down there you can see Avis. Again, there's really nice work and attention to detail done on the ground. Cars there, buildings nicely weathered. There's a helicopter, it's actually my one. So doesn't that building look nice? They've done a nice job on making it look authentic from the outside. And again, it just looks authentic, it looks good. Signage, this is the helicopter base. Corsica helicopters. And again, you look at what they've done with the building here. It's weathered, it's really nicely done. Very, very nice indeed. So here you can see a couple of ground generators here, air starts, and a baggage vehicle there. There's my helicopter. And again, nice attention to detail on the buildings. There's the barrier. I just wanted to show you this Aero Club building for the pilots and people that are gathering here. But again, really nicely done, nicely presented. So while we're here, you can look at some of the taxiway signage and markings here. This all looks really quite authentic. It looks really nice. Again, you've got beautifully clear taxiway signs. Fence line there to the car park looks really good. Now here's the airside part of that GA base. As you can see, everything really equipped to handle large and small aircraft as well as helicopters. And just a view from higher up there. Just looks lovely. It's really beautifully done. So here's the GA part. This is what they call apron K here. And you've got a small aircraft on it. And there is a wingspan restriction here, if you look at the chart. As you can see, taxiway signs are excellent. They're raised, they're all sharp, everything you need. And as you might guess, this was the old runway 2810, which is now totally decommissioned, and it's taxiway hotel, which is only used in the daytime hours. Here you've got the solar panels, which provide a lot of power towards the airport itself. So let's have a look at this area just very quickly. There you see beautifully detailed solar panels, and here you've got some car parks as a roundabout. Okay, they've chosen not to detail the road here, which is okay, but again it would have been a nice addition to bring the scenery up to 10 stars instead of 9. However, what they have done is this. They've chosen to do this on the building here to enhance this and makes it look really nice. Here are the air conditioning units on the roof, again weathering on the building, and here you've got these facade fronts that look really, really nice, very cleverly done. And as you can see, the same has been done here. I really like it. It's just it's a nice little enhancement. It just it shows the thought and care that's been taken. So we continue our travels up here and just have a look. Again, you can see the same attention to detail as the weathering on the buildings. And I did want to show you this beautiful look, boats. Who'd have expected to see boats at an airport? And the models are just really good. Beautifully detailed. One inside a kind of a little hangar there, and here you've got some hangars. Again, the weathering on them is stunning. So here we're looking at them just close up, and you can see, when you get close up, the detail is great. The lines are fine, there's nothing blurred about them. Very, very nicely done. I'm really impressed with that. So lastly, we just go across the runway here before we go to night dusk time, and have a look at the Air Corsica area. I wanted to show you this beautiful hangar here. As you can see, internally it's beautifully done. Weathering, signage, all of the bits and pieces you'd expect to find in here. Tow bar, tug, stairs. These are for climbing up on and working on tails, aircraft tails. And again, you've got the hoist. And it's remarkably nicely done. And here you've got some pallets and some little buildings and hangars, ground power unit there and a tug, and some more ground power units here on the main apron. And this is known as the airport civil security area. So you expect to see police, army, helicopters possibly. Again, ground power units, people walking about. And as you can see, nice attention to detail on the buildings. Scuff marks on the ramp here. Everything looks just as it should be if it was real. Okay, so let's turn the lighting down to dusk and have a close look as the lights come on and see what it looks like. Okay, so it's just before 8:20 in the evening local time. As you can see, the sun has dropped below the horizon on the other side. That's a beautiful picture, I think. It's just a lovely shot. And the lighting is beginning to come on the airport itself. Look to the left there, you can see the flashing buoys in the bay, and you can see generally the lighting around the airport is lovely, very subtle, nicely done. The right areas look lit even from this far away, you can see. There we are looking towards the threshold of runway 20. Here you can see wigwags marking the entry to the exit to the live runway. And again, subtle lighting on the buildings. We'll look closer at these in a minute. And here we are looking at the Air Corsica hangar and the airport security area here. Again, nice, beautifully subtle lighting inside and on the buildings. Here you can see the wigwags a lot closer. Again, lots of blue airfield edge lights, so the boundary of the airport is well defined. And the runway itself has edge lighting too. So let's go and have a close look at the commercial terminal where most of you guys will be spending your time airside. So here's my aircraft parked on one of the stands, and as you can see, the building is gently, very subtly lit. Lots of subtle lighting in the buildings here, nothing overdone. Just looks really lovely. Ramp material. Not sure about these light stanchions. We'll get up close and have a look. So there we go, they are on. You've got 6 lights, 4 in the front, 2 at the side, and the light source is correct. If I back away a little bit, there you can see it provides lighting just indeed as it should. And again, we've got subtle lighting here within the buildings. Not sure what's going on here. Let's go and have a little look. As we come across here, you can see the fire station building is lit slightly there to give the illusion of things going on inside. Don't really know what that is. But again, you can see subtle lighting. Here's a light source and there's the light. I get the feeling there's something in the scenery there just causing an anomaly. Right, now I can hear an aircraft engine. Sounds like a prop job. So that sounds to me like an aircraft that's missing. It might be just an anomaly in Flight Simulator, not necessarily part of the scenery. So as you can see, generally the lighting looks really lovely. Here, plenty of lighting over here, and you can see those door fronts that we looked at before are all lit up. Here you can see taxiway hotel. The old runway is not lit at all, so again you don't use this after dark. But plenty of lighting around the airfield itself. And here we are looking landside of the terminal. Here you can see the control tower has lighting on it. these buildings are lovely. They're just really, really nicely done. They've achieved a lot without actually having to develop the inside of the building here. This lighting is so subtly done that it matches the building and makes it look real. Looks like it comes to life completely. Possibly something that other developers could learn to do to make their buildings look better with minimal effort. Instead of having to develop the entire inside of the building, they only have to do something as good as this to make it look realistic. But here you can see beautiful subtle lighting. It just makes this whole area look great. Let's go and look at the terminal Landslide up close. Got a beautiful seaplane there, which I think is part of a Sobo. It's not part of the scenery. But there you can see blue lighting on the tower as we go there to the left. And here, see, here is an example of what can be achieved if you do just a little bit more. Now this building is not developed at all inside in any way, shape or form. But the illusion here that they've done is so nicely done that it looks real. You're forgiven for thinking that actually there is stuff inside and there is things going on, because this is so well done. As I said, a lesson for other developers, I think. So here we are looking landside towards the entrance of the terminal. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure where this lighting has come from. Let's come away a bit. Okay, right, so you've got large lights there. Right, okay, that's fine. 2 light bulbs, 2 strong lights there that are providing lighting for this whole area. In fact, there are 5 lights there on that stanchion, so that's why it's quite bright. Again, here are the two the car rental companies, Avis and Hertz and whatever. And again, okay, little bit of subtle lighting, nothing to write home about, but enough to make it believable. You know, if you'd have left these completely dark, it wouldn't have looked so good at all. Plenty of light stanchions. I can't see any Asobo globes anywhere here, which is great. And the lighting is adequate, provided by these big light stanchions. So just looking at the other end, again you've got these huge powerful lights providing this light here. So the light sources are totally accurate, and they're lighting up the road as well. Signs here for the entry to the terminal. And here's a nice little shot here showing the light inside the terminal that's shining out. You've got the baggage trolleys here, and here's a side entrance to the building, stop signs, and here you can see within the glass the terminal lighting. It's all really nicely done. Nothing but praise for this. So here we are inside the terminal landside, and you can see you've got more than adequate lighting coming from these roof lights. All looks really good. That's really impressive. So here's the tunnel you walk through to come to the boarding gates. There you got the sign lit up, and again you've got the ceiling lighting that provides the light source. Excellent. And here we are looking inside. Very nice there, very nice. And here, if I get up close, you can just about see out through the misted glass, and I think that's as it should be, as far as I understand it. Again, the signs are lit, and you've got adequate lighting as well. As I've said before with this scenery, the thing that would give this a 10 instead of a 9 is just a few more people. I'd like to see a stewardess here, maybe getting ready to accept tickets or boarding cards, and a few more passengers inside. Since they've chosen to develop the inside, it would have been nice just to add a little bit more humanity around this airport. There's even a lack of sort of airside ramp people. Okay, there's 1 or 2, but there really aren't that many. But as you can see here, on the whole, visually it looks wonderful. It just lacks people. And just a quick look, couple of views airside here on the roads, you can see, perfectly nice. There's an airside shot of the building showing the sign, and here you can see the gate numbers. And in the other direction there, again, you can see the big lights, and you can see the flag, and the top of the control tower is lit too. Very nice indeed. So let's head out across the taxiway and across the runway. As you can see, the taxiway still looks good. Blue edge lights there. We head out across the runway towards the Air Corsica hangar. As you can see, we go across the runway now. There you can see the wigwags. They look really good. Actually, those are some of the best wigwags I've seen in a simulator scenery for some time. They're really bright. And coming on to the Air Corsica hangar. I thought we would wait until dusk time to have a close look at this hangar to see just how it comes to life, and it clearly does. You look at the concrete here, the way this has been done, the texturing is stunning. Some of the best I've seen. And the modelling of the interior of the building looks wonderful. Because it's weathered, it looks so much more real. Absolutely incredible. And again, just this little bit of extra work on the lighting windows here, without having to develop the inside of the building, makes this totally believable and makes it look really authentic. And just an overview of that building, to look at the lighting generally, looks wonderful, just really stunning. So as you can see, the lighting is really nice. So this time of the evening it's beautiful. So let's go to full night time now and see how much the lighting comes up, see how much of an improvement there is. So here we are just after 10 PM local time in the evening, and as you can see, it's pitch black, beautiful stars. You can see the city of Ajaccio on the other side of the bay there, and here you can see the lighting has indeed come up. As I said, this is just, I think, an Asobo anomalies, an aircraft here that can't be seen, but causing all sorts of little rubbish, I think, really. But doesn't detract from the scenery, not part of the scenery at all. But there's the main commercial ramp that you and I will be travelling into. Does really look good. So looking down towards the threshold of runway 02 here, this is the one with the ILS. Here are the flashing buoys in the bay. As you can see, the runway has lighting at the edge but no centerline, so you're relying quite a lot on the PAPIs, on the ILS and the aids that you have. Once you touch down, it's going to be a nose gear light that helps you find where you've got to go. And looking in this direction here, you can see the runway edge. Plenty of blue edge field lights as well, which are going to help you a lot. And here you've got the runway turn off point. There is an exit sign here, I believe. So you shouldn't have too much trouble taxiing around in the dark. Although there's a lack of centerline and a lack of a bit more constructive runway lighting, this is as it is per the charts, so it's accurate. So kudos to the guys for that, for making it right and not putting high intensity approach lights and all the other wonderful aids that people think they should have. This is totally accurate. And before we leave this side of the airport, I just wanted to show you this. Here's the hangar again. Look at this lighting. This is really nice, and the way that this appears, the appearance of this concrete, some of the best texturing I have seen in a scenery. And the subtle lighting here really works. The way they've weathered the ramp here, and they've mixed it with the way that they've lit it, they've just done such an amazing job. So here we are with the wigwags coming from the Air Corsica hangar towards the runway. This is the runway in front of us. Here you've got the runway entry signs, which are as they should be, and these wigwags are great. I love these wigwags. These, again, some of the best ones I've seen. They're really bright. Okay, they're more yellow than they are orange. Many of the wigwags in the UK airports are slightly darker than this, but I like these, I really do. So let's traverse from the runway here across the airside ramp on the commercial terminal. Let's just go right over the top to Landslide and have a look at the lighting and the way it appears. As you can see, the subtle lighting really brings this to life. They've done a lovely job. Look at this roof here. And as we go landside to the main car park, the lighting just continues to keep the subtleness about it all. Not sure if those are Asobo car models. Not too bad. But again, looking towards the terminal from landside here, you've got the signs. Lighting is wonderful. So there's a shot looking from toward the entrance to the airport towards the terminal here, and you can see the subtle lighting everywhere, which I think is wonderful. Control tower is beautiful. And here you've got the helicopter base, which is the building again, the hangar's nicely lit. All of the lighting here is just really subtle, much of it bringing the airport to life in a way that possibly other developers don't. Okay, just after 6:30 in the morning, it's dawn, and here you can see the sun is just about to come up above the mountains there, and you've got this lovely misty glow here, which looks really nice. The lights are pretty much turned off now, but the airport is beginning to come alive. So here we are, just about 7:30, the sun's up, and you can see the airport's bathed in the early morning sunrise. A nice look down the beach and the coastline there, and in the other direction of the city of Ajaccio on the other side of the bay there. So let's round this up now. What do I think? This is a stunning scenery. In many ways it's one of the best I've looked at. It's a real top notch. There are several things that make this, really give this a 9 out of 10. One is the price. If you get this from flightsim.to, for those of us in the UK, this is under £15. Which is really, really good. It's just over £15 if you get it off SimMarket. SimMarket prices are a bit more expensive. So I've got this from flightsim.to. Just again a disclaimer, I bought this, I wasn't given it to review, and I will fly in here. Beautiful place. So the price is excellent for the product. It's the right price. In fact, it's a steal in my opinion for some of the work they've done here. So I like the price. I love the attention to detail. Here they've taken photo scenery in some places and they've augmented it, particularly with respect to the car parks here and the lines. These have all been augmented so that the scenery underneath looks better. Where you get to the terminal, both airside and landside, the detail is stunning. All the signs are crystal clear, even up close. They've modelled the inside of the terminal. Okay, not to the high standard that some others have had, but it works. Airside, the amount of clutter and the way it looks, the foliage and the palm trees, and the subtleness of the lighting on the buildings, particularly in low light, is extremely well done. When you take some of these buildings like this, the helicopter hangar here, and the building there, the fire station building next door to the tower, they've not been developed inside, but what they've done is they've enhanced the lighting on the windows such that it really looks like it does. Something I think that some developers could really learn from. And they've not left anything out. You've got on the other side, you've got the Air Corsica hangar, beautifully detailed inside. Love the way the concrete reflects the light at dusk. And even here you've got this little club building here with seats outside, little restaurant seats. And also further up along here you've got the boats, and even when you come to the little town area here, you know, they've done a facade on the front of the buildings that makes them look like real shops. They've done a lot of work here which is really, really excellent. Very, very good indeed. It's up there with the top developers in so many ways, and I think it deserves a 9. If you had more people, I'd like to have seen 1 or 2 cars here up towards the terminal, and maybe some people milling about having a smoke. A couple more inside the terminal, a few more engineers and odds walking around landside, and maybe an engineer or something. Just a few more people would make this a 10. When you go inside the terminal it looks great, but you just got one guy walking and another guy stood in front of a window, and a chap stood in front of a check-in desk with nobody there. That just to me lets it down. When you've gone to the trouble to do that, that would be the last step, and it hasn't been taken. But realistically, that's my only criticism. I have to say this is a stunning scenery, beautifully made, a great airport in a wonderful location, big enough for you and I to go and land our jets here, and probably plenty to explore if you want to take a light aircraft or a helicopter and go and have a fly around across the bay and around the mountains and see what's here. And also kudos for doing the navigations systems and lighting on the runway as per the charts. They've even included the lit up buoys in the bay, which to be honest, I didn't expect to see, but they're there. So this is a 9 out of 10 for me, a wonderful airport. I like it a lot, and yeah, I'd encourage you to go and get it. My opinion, it's a bit of steel. If they augment it by adding some people, then I would be hugely impressed. But I have to say, this is a wonderful airport. You just got to go and get it. It's great. So this is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another scenery review. I apologise for the delay. I might only get this one review out this week because there's been a few domestic issues I've had to deal with. So you may have to wait until next week for the Masai Mara Game Reserve review. But we'll see. I'll try and get that done. That's another interesting scenery which has come along. And after looking at the Okavango Delta, Masai Mara is a must as well. So thank you for joining me in this review. I hope you've enjoyed it and learnt a lot. This is a wonderful scenery, can't recommend it enough. I will see you in the next review. So this is Lee saying bye for now. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.